Anybody is having any doubt regarding the yeast situation? It is very, very important. We'll come across later so many times. At that time, I'll ask certain questions. And next, coming to the androecium, the male reproductive parts of a flower, which occupies the third whorl of a flower, of a typical flower. The third whorl of a typical flower is occupied by the male reproductive parts of a flower. It is called androecium. So when you observe here androecium, androecium is composed of stamens. Okay, androecium is composed of stamen. That means all the stamens in a flower together, we are calling it as androecium. And next, each stamen which represents a male reproductive organ. That means the stamens represents the male reproductive organs of a flower, or we can also call it as a microsporophylls. Okay, we can also call it as a microsporophyll. Okay, the microsporophyll, that means the stamen represents the microsporophyll. Okay, that represents a male reproductive organ, consists of a stalk or a filament and an anther. So each stamen which represents a male reproductive organ consists of a stalk or a filament. There is a long thread-like structure which we call it as a filament, and at the tip of this anther we'll find a small, okay, swollen structure that is called anther. So anther attaches to the filament at its tip. Okay. And next, when you observe the anther, each anther is usually bilobed, and each lobe has two chambers, which we call it as a pollen sacs or a microsporangium. So each anther consists of 4 microsporangia, because what we are saying, each anther is divided into 2 lobes, and each lobe again consists of 2 pollen chambers or pollen sacs. So totally there are 4 pollen chambers or pollen sacs. So as each lobe consists of 2 pollen chambers, okay, the anthers in case of angiosperms is described as a ditheca. Here the theca means the polychamber. Okay, here the theca means pollen chamber. As each lobe consists of 2 pollen chambers, the anthers in case of angiosperms is described as a dithecous anther. Di means 2, theca means pollen chamber. Okay, because of the presence of 2 pollen chamber, anther lobe. Okay, and each, okay, what is the function of this pollen chamber? Okay, the pollen grains are produced in pollen sacs or pollen chambers or microsporangium. So, okay, what happens in the pollen chamber means the pollen grains are microspores. Pollen grains are microspores are male gametophytes. Remember all these terms: microspores, pollen grains, female, okay, male gametophytes. All are same, and all they are produced inside the pollen chamber or microsporangium. Okay, and next, and in some flowers, okay, and in some flowers, the stamens are present, but they are unable to produce pollen grains. Okay, but they are unable to produce pollen grains. Okay, such sterile stamen is called staminode. Okay, such a sterile stamen. Okay, stamen, we are calling it as a staminode. Very, very important. A more, okay, a large number of times they have been asked in the NEET examination. Okay, there is. Okay, so a sterile stamen is called a staminode. Okay, sterile stamen is called a staminode. That means if a stamen is unable to produce pollen grains, or if it is not having the ability to produce pollen grains, such stamens are called staminodes. Okay, that is. And next, the stamens of flower may be united with other members such as the petals or among themselves. So when you observe the stamens in some flowers of a plant, what happens means the stamens are united. Other members like petals, or it may get united among themselves with the help of their filament, or with the help of their anthers, or in some cases with both. Both filament and anther both are get fused. Okay, if you are having a hibiscus or a China rose plant in your garden or in your nearby place, once go and check. Okay, in that we can observe very clearly. Okay, the stamens get united with their filaments, but anthers are free. But the anthers are okay. So depending upon their union with the other parts of the flower or within the same parts, again they are described as differently. That is, when stamens are attached to the petals, they are called epipetals. Okay, that means here the filament is there. No, the filament of the flower, the filament of the stamen is attached with the adjacent petals of a flower. That means whatever the petal that is present adjacent to it. For example, there are 5 petals are there. Okay, and in that flower also 5 stamens are there. Then what happens? The 5 filaments of these 5 stamens get attached with the 5 petals respectively. Okay, so such a phenomenon we are calling it as a epipetalous. Observe in case of Solanacea, Datura, brinjal. Okay, in this we can observe this epipetalous. That means the filaments get attached. The filaments of the stamens are attached with the petals of the flower. Okay, as in brinjal. Okay. Okay, in Datura also we can observe. Okay, and next one is epiphyllous. What is meant by epiphyllous means? Okay, in some flowers we already said the sepals and petals are undifferentiated. We are unable to distinct sepals from petals. In that case, we are calling together as a perianth. The individual structures in the perianth are called tepals. And in some flowers, okay, the stamens are associated with these tepals. Okay, and such a phenomenon, we are calling it as epiphyllus. Okay, it is observed in case of lily. It is observed in case of a lily, that is epiphyllus, when attached to the perianth, as in the flower lily. So in lily, we can understand from this. In lily, we can see the sepals and petals are undifferentiated. That means we are unable to distinguish sepals from petals. So here we are calling it as perianth. And in lily, what happens? The stamens are attached with their filaments. The stamens are attached with the help of the filaments to the tepals of the flower lily. Okay, and that phenomenon we are calling it as epiphyllus. If they are attached direct, okay, with the petals of a flower, that means if sepals and petals are differentiated, and if the filaments of the stamen is associated or attached with the petals of a flower, we are calling it as epipetalous, as in case of brinjal and datura. And in some, if you are unable to distinguish the sepals from petals, in that case, we are calling it as perianth. And the individual structures we call it as the tepals. And if the stamens are attached with the with the perianth of a flower, and such a phenomenon we are calling it as epiphyllus. Okay. And next, and already we said, okay, this is we are discussing related to the stamens attached with the other parts of a flower, either epipetalous or epiphyllus. But we already said, okay, the stamens are also attached among themselves with the help of their filaments or with the anthers or with both. Then what we call it as? Okay, in that case we call it as a androus. Okay, the stamens in the flower may either remain free. Okay, if they are free, if they are not attached with any other structure, if they are free, we are calling it as a polyandrous. We are calling it as a polyandrous, or maybe united with the varying degree. They are united to form as a single unit. That means all the stamens are united and forms as a single unit. Okay, as in case of hibiscus. And in some cases, they may be united in two groups. And sometimes they may be united with united to form many, okay, and forms as many groups. Okay, that is a so this phenomenon this phenomenon of attachment of among themselves, we are calling it as adelphus. We call it as adelphus. Okay, that is a step. Okay, so if the stamens are remained free, not attached with any other structures, we are calling it as polyandrous, or maybe united in varying degree. The stamens may be united into one bunch or one bundle called monoadelphous, as in case of China rose, that is hibiscus. Okay, in hibiscus, we can observe, okay, the filaments of the stamens are attached with one another and forms as a single bunch, or arranged in the form of a single bundle. So such a phenomenon we are calling it as a monoadelphous. Mono means single, adelphous means united to form a group. It is observed in case of China rose. Okay, if the stamens are united and they are arranged in two bundles or two bunches, then such a phenomenon is described as a diadelphous. Di means two, adelphous means, okay, groups, joined to form groups. So two groups, okay, when you observe in case, okay, it is observed in case of P. in peas, grams, beans. In all this, we'll find this diadelphous condition. So how they are arranged? When you observe, okay, the pea flower. Each pea flower consists of 10 stamens. Each pea flower consists of, or each bean or grams, okay, each flower consists of 10 stamens. Out of these 10 stamens, okay, they are arranged in the order of 9 plus 1. That is, 9 are united to form one bunch, and a single stamen remains separately. Okay, one stamen remains separately. It is not attached with any other structure. It remains as a single, but the remaining 9 stamens are fused to form one bunch. So 9 plus 1 arrangement we can observe. So as they are arranged in 2 bundles, of each one bundle consists of 9 and one bundle consists of only one stamen. And such a type of arrangement, we are calling it as a diadelphous condition. Okay, and if the stamens are united into more than 2 bundles, we are calling it as a polyadelphous. It is observed in case of citrus fruits. Okay, citrus flowers. Okay, in citrus flowers or in citrus plants, okay, we'll find the flowers of citrus plants possess polyadelphous. They possess okay, 3 or more number of bundles of stamens arrangement. Okay, and next, okay, there may be a variation in the length of filaments within a flower, as in salvia and mustard. Okay, that means all the stamens in a flower are not having equal size. Okay, they may have varying degree of length of filament or stamen. We can observe very clearly in case of salvia and mustard. Okay, the salvia is a native of mainly Australia. It's an Australian plant. Okay, when you observe this salvia is pollinated by a specific moth. Okay, and next, in case of mustard, okay, in case of mustard also, the stamens are of varying length because of the varying length of the filament. Okay, that means the length of the stamens in a flower, the length of all the stamens in a flower need not be of equal size. Okay, they may be varying in their length. Okay, that is about this androecium. Okay, here we can see the androecium. Okay, we can see the androecium. Okay, this is the filament and this is the anther. At the tip of the, here we can see the 10 stamens representing. Any is having any doubt? Okay. Okay. And next, coming to the Thursday's examination syllabus. This week it will be from animal kingdom. Okay, animal kingdom up to Arthropoda. So the basis of classification, okay, and the classification of animals, but the classification of animals up to the phylum Arthropoda. There is a Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminths, Aschelminths, Enlida, and Arthropoda. Okay, along with the basis of classification. Basis of classification means we have studied no. Okay, complete digestive system, incomplete digestive system, open type of circulatory system, closed type of circulatory system, and next, okay, okay, diploblastic, triploblastic, okay, radial symmetry, bilateral symmetry, okay, and next coelom, okay, acoelom, pseudocoelom, enterocoelom, and next notochord, pharyngeal gill slits, okay, like this, okay, the basic, okay, segment metamerism. Okay, that basis of classification, and along with that, the classification of animals up to Arthropoda. That is the syllabus for the okay, the Thursday's test. Okay, for both MCQs as well as for descriptive. For both the syllabus is same this week, and it will be 30 marks test only this time. Okay, MCQs 30 and descriptive also for 30 marks. Anybody is having any doubt regarding the syllabus? Okay. And next. Okay, next coming to the fourth whorl of a flower, that is a gynoecium. Okay, the fourth whorl of the flower is occupied by the female reproductive parts of a flower, which are together called as a gynoecium. The individual structures that are representing the female reproductive organs of a flower are carpels, are called carpels. So gynoecium is the female reproductive part of the flower and is made up of one or more carpels. So the carpels represent the male reproductive organs, and all the carpels, usually it may be one to many. Okay, and all the carpels in a flower together, we are calling it as a gynoecium. And next, when you observe the carpel, a carpel consists of three parts, namely stigma, style, and ovary. Okay, stigma, style, and ovary are the three major parts of the carpel. Okay, in that when you observe the ovary, ovary is the enlarged basal part on which lies the elongated tube, that is the style, and the style connects the ovary to the stigma. Okay, the stigma is usually at the tip of the style and is the receptive surface for pollen grains. So when you observe the carpel, which represents the gynoecium, okay, which represents the female reproductive parts of a flower, it occupies the fourth whorl or the central part of the flower on the thalamus, usually present at the tip of the thalamus, occupying the central part of the flower. Okay, the number of carpels in a flower ranges from one to many. Okay, minimum one and maximum large number. Okay, so when you observe the carpel, a carpel consists of mainly three parts. ovary, style, and stigma. Ovary, style, and stigma. When you observe the ovary, okay, the lower swollen the ovary. Sorry. Okay, the lower swollen part of the carpel, we are calling it as the ovary. This is the ovary. Okay, and this ovary leads into a long tubular structure. Okay, long slender tubular structure. Okay, which connects the basal ovary with that of stigma, which is present at the tip. That okay, this long slender tubular structure, we are calling it as a style. We'll call it as the style. And at the tip of the style, we'll find a small bulb-like structure, which we call it as the stigma. Okay, the stigma is receptive. That means it is the ability to receive pollen grains. To receive pollen grains to facilitate fertilization. Okay, that is to helps, which helps in fertilization. Okay, so that is also when you observe the ovary, sorry, when you observe the carpel, each carpel consists of three parts: ovary, style, and stigma. That is what we can see here. Okay. And next, when you observe the ovary, okay, internal structure of ovary. Each ovary bears one or more ovules attached to a flattened cushion-like placenta. When more than one carpel is present, okay, that is when you observe the inner part of the ovary. Okay, the inner part of the ovary is thrown into a large number of folds, which looks like a cushion. Okay, cushion like a large number of folds are present on the inner side of the ovary. And these are called, okay, and these structure we are call, okay, and this structure we are calling it as a placenta. Okay. Okay, one or more number of ovules are attached to this placenta inside the ovary. Okay. For example, if you observe the flower in case of paddy, okay, the ovary encloses only one ovule. In case of paddy, in case of wheat, we'll find only one ovule inside the ovary. That's why inside the, okay, we'll find only one grain developing from only one flower. So we can see here. Okay, so, and some may possess many. For example, if you cut open a tomato, a brinjal, inside we'll find a large number of seeds. Seeds are nothing but they are developed from ovules. Ovules after fertilization, they are matured to form seeds. So the seeds represents ovules. So if you are observing many seeds inside the fruit, means it is indicating that ovary is possessing large number of ovules. Even if you observe the datura fruit also, inside the datura fruit will find a large number of seeds. So the number of seeds, okay, the number of ovules inside the ovary may range from 1 to many. Okay, if only one carpel is present, we no problem, because we'll say monocarpellary, because it is not attached or it is not fused with the carpel, because there is only one carpel, so no problem. So we say monocarpellary. But if the flower consists of two or more carpels, then the condition comes whether these carpels are free or fused with one another. So in that case, how we can represent? When more than one carpel is present, they may be free or, okay, as in case of lotus and rose, and are called apocarpus. Okay, even you can observe in case of michlia, a flower called, okay, plant called michlia. In that, the flower consists of many carpels with many carpels, but free. There is apocarpus. If two or more number of carpels are present and if they are free, we are calling it as apocarpus. And they are termed syncarpus when fused, as in case of mustard and tomato. How we can know that? The gynoecium is formed by the fusion of two or more carpels. Okay, once go to the kitchen, or once go to the, okay, go to the kitchen, take one tomato, take one tomato and open it. Okay, do we find any septum in the center? Okay, we'll get two chambers, one right side and one left side. We'll get two chambers, one right side and one left side. In between, a septum is present, indicating that it is formed by the fusion of two carpels. The two chambers represents a fusion with the two carpels. Okay. Okay, and the same time you go, okay, take one lady's finger, cut the lady's finger. How many chambers you can find? 4 to 5. Okay, 4 to 5 or 4 to 6 chambers we can observe inside the lady's finger, indicating that it is formed by the fusion of 4 carpels or 5 carpels or 6 carpels. How means? By observing the chambers inside the ovary. Okay, that ovary, okay, that is, the fruit is nothing but developed from ovary. So when observe, okay, collect one tomato flower, carefully collect it, okay, take out the ovary, cut open the ovary, definitely we can observe two chambers, same as that of a tomato fruit. Okay, same way you go, okay, lady's finger, okay, lady's finger, okay, collect one lady's finger flower, take out the okay, this gynoecium, and cut the gynoecium at its middle. Just how we are cutting the lady's finger, in the same manner, you cut the transversely you cut the ovary of this lady's finger, that is Abelmoscus esculentus. Okay, how you are observing the chambers with reference to lady's finger fruit. In the same manner, we can observe the chambers with reference to the ovary also. So indicating that this ovary is fused by the 4 or 5 carpels. So in that case, not only that, okay, in case of mustard, in tomato, okay, in all this we can find they are formed by 2 or more carpels, and in that case we call it as a syncarpus. If the gynoecium is formed by the fusion of 2 or more carpels, then we call it as a syncarpus. That means if 2 carpels are fused, bicarpellary syncarpus. If 3 carpels are fused, we can say tricarpellary syncarpus. Okay, if 4 are tetracarpellary syncarpus, 5 pentacarpellary syncarpus. Okay, more than 5, we can call it as a multicarpellary syncarpus. Okay, and that is if they are fused. If they are free, we can say epocarpus. Okay, that means it consists of many number of carpels, but all the carpels are free, they are not fused. If you are saying the term epocarpus, bicarpellary epocarpus, multicarpellary epocarpus, like that we say, if they are free. In Michelia, it is multicarpellary epocarpus. Okay. Okay, that is what we can observe with reference to the structure of a gynoecium. And the okay, anybody is having any doubt? Anybody is having any up to now regarding gynoecium? Okay, and the next one is a placentation. Okay, the arrangement of ovules within the ovary is known as the placentation. We already said, okay, inside the ovary, okay, a cushion-like structure is present, which we call it as placenta, and attached to this placenta, the ovules are present. So the pattern of arrangement of these ovules on the placenta inside the ovary, okay, this pattern of arrangement of ovules on the placenta, the ovary, we are calling it as a placentation. Okay, there are different types of placentation like marginal, okay, marginal placentation, axial placentation, parietal placentation, free central placentation, and next basal placentation. So these are the 5 different types of placentation: marginal placentation, axial placentation, parietal placentation, free central placentation, and the 5th one, that is a basal type of placentation. Okay, okay, we'll discuss these 5 types in detail in the next class.